Covering Columbia County, a Lake City man is speaking out, saying he and people who were with him were turned away from a Denny's restaurant.
Is it the color of my skin? I mean, that's where I left it at. Is that the problem? Because it's like everybody else was eating and drinking, and she was standing there and she's like, I'm not going to be able to accommodate y'all.
News 4 Jax reporter Allison Henning spoke with the man and reached out to the restaurant's corporate office and found out the chain is responding swiftly.
It was last Friday night when Elijah Henderson Jr. says he, his family, and his friends were turned away from this Denny's restaurant in Lake City. Staff told him they couldn't accommodate his group, but he believes this was a case of racial discrimination. Elijah Henderson Jr. got a call from Denny's chief operating officer moments before we met up with him today.
Elijah, my name is Chris Brody. I work for the Denny's organization.
He was like, well, I work with the diversity department. I was like, you guys have to do a little more work. I said, because it's not working. What you're doing, it may be working at corporate, but when it drizzles down, it comes down to the franchisees, it's not working.
Henderson Jr. was coming with a group of about 25 church members last Friday. He was the first to arrive and was turned away after an employee said she couldn't accommodate them with one cashier and one cook.
I was like, I understand that there's only you and him. I was like, you guys, I said, but can y'all feed us? No, we're not. She's like, I'm not going to accommodate y'all. And then there was another family that came in right after me. She's like, you guys go ahead and have a seat. I'll be with you momentarily.
In disbelief, Henderson Jr. took to Facebook Live in a video that's now been viewed more than 2,000 times.
I feel as if since I'm African American, that's why she doesn't feel like she should accommodate us. I don't understand. I'm not trying to understand. The only thing that I do understand and the only thing that I do know is that they're wrong. They're wrong for how they treated us.
Did it hurt you to hear her say that?
Yeah, I was upset. And I wasn't upset so much as that I was hungry. I was upset because I got my family with me. Point blank, I don't care what you look like or where you come from. I just want equality.
We reached out to Denny's corporate office. They sent us this statement. It reads in part, "We were shocked by the unacceptable experience our guests received recently at our Lake City, Florida location and sincerely apologize." It goes on to say, "We simply do not tolerate discrimination of any kind in our restaurants." The company tells me it has completed its investigation and the employee involved in last Friday's incident no longer works here. In Lake City, Allison Henning, Channel 4, the local station.
In the past hour, we learned that Denny's Senior Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Marketing is changing her travel plans from a work-related trip to Martha's Vineyard and is coming straight to Lake City to meet with Henderson face-to-face this Sunday to discuss what happened at that location.
Yeah. Trying to come out here to just de-escalate the situation, you know what I mean? Just because you're black doesn't mean you're right. We don't understand. Let's say this shit here!
To the guy sitting at that table, that right there, that moment where you said, just because you're black, that's the reason I'm making this video. So congratulations. Sanford, Florida. The guy who recorded and posted that video posted this account of what happened. According to him, he said, first of all, the restaurant was great. No one needs to be upset with them. He said, I was sitting in a booth, eating my food and reading. I go to this place all the time. I don't bother anyone. That's when some guys sitting at the table next to me, I overheard one of them say, chimping out. I recognize that term from Facebook. It shows up a lot in comments. I don't remember exactly what I said at first. I may have said, what the fuck? The guy apologized, but I was still pissed because I couldn't believe someone would talk like that out loud in public. Then I said, don't say it at all. That's when the guy in the hat...
And you gonna threaten me? I'm talking shit to you because you're talking shit to me. I'm just telling you I'm pissed off. You can be pissed then why are you talking about hitting me for? Because you're talking shit to us now. Because of what he said. He apologized.
What did you say you saw a while ago?
You want to talk to him, he's the lost person.
Hi there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I saw you over there. You were swapping the drills.
I was swapping the drills?
Yes, I saw you swapping the drills.
Okay, I want to see the video. Let me see the video.
It's me.
Yeah, I just want to see the video. Yeah, no problem. I just want to see the video.
Sure.
There's no video. We saw you doing it.
Oh,
you saw me doing it?
Yes, I saw you.
Swapping gel?
Yes.
Yeah, so you guys don't have any video?
We saw you doing it. There's no video.
There's no video.
Okay. So, you saw me swapping the gel?
Yes.
Okay, let's go around here and
okay, you don't want to call the police. Okay, sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The police and you can explain it to them. He wants to be Mr.
Yeah, do that.
Instagram and Mr. TikTok.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
All right.
Call the police.
What you want? What you guys want me to do? You want me to stay here until the cops come, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Can I go and check the color code in my vehicle? I need to get the color code. I need to get the color code. So as you can see, I didn't leave out with anything.
Sorry,
right?
you're on the phone.
Oh, you're on the phone. Okay. Guys, welcome to Canada. Welcome to Canada as a black man. This is what can happen to you. Then so me swap drill in the Canadian tire. Yeah, then so me swap the drill. So I guess drill can fit in my pocket. Then so me swap the drill and me can't leave. Then call the police. So the police step on them we are come. Yeah.
Sir, I'm going to need you and your kids to leave now.
I'm sorry, what? We're just eating dinner.
You're disturbing other customers. Let's go.
Disturbing? My kids are coloring. We haven't even...
Huh. Okay, sure. I'm not going to ask again.
Tell me what we did wrong.
What you did wrong is not listening to a police
Keep
officer.
talking and I'll arrest you for
In
disturbing
front of
A black father sits in a family restaurant with his 3 young kids. They are eating quietly. The children are coloring on paper placemats. Then a police officer walks over to their table. Sir, I'm gonna need you and your kids to leave. Now. I'm sorry, what? We're just eating dinner. You're disturbing other customers. Let's go. Disturbing? My kids are coloring. We haven't even. Okay, sure. I'm not gonna ask again. Can you just tell me what we did wrong? What you did wrong is not listening to a police officer. Keep talking and I'll arrest you for disturbing the peace in front of your kids. Officer Carl Mason had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 18 months, he would lose his badge. He would face criminal charges. He would watch a jury give James Peterson $3.4 million, all because he could not let a black father eat chicken tenders with his children in peace. But the man who destroyed Mason's career was not Peterson. It was the restaurant owner standing 15 feet away. He was watching everything unfold. Tony Romano was not just some guy running a family diner. He was a former NYPD sergeant. He left the force after seeing years of this exact kind of abuse. His restaurant had 12 security cameras. He installed them because he knew this day would come. Every single camera was recording. Before I continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Tell me your story in the comments. Officer Mason had no idea who he was throwing out of that restaurant. James Peterson was 38 years old. He was a single father raising 3 kids alone. Maya was 9, Jordan was 7, Deshaun was 5. James worked as an accountant at a big company. He had worked there for 12 years. He graduated from Howard University with honors. His wife had died from cancer 2 years before. After she passed, James made a promise to his kids. Every Friday night, they would have dinner together, just the 4 of them. It was their special tradition. James picked this restaurant on purpose. It was family-friendly. It was affordable. Kids ate free on Fridays. He had been bringing his children here for 8 months. They never had a single problem. People who knew James described him as quiet. He avoided conflict. He never raised his voice. His first thought was always to protect his children. Now here is what you need to understand. On this Friday evening, James Peterson just wanted one thing. He wanted to give his 3 kids a normal dinner, 1 hour of peace. That was all he wanted. That was all any father would want. But someone else in that restaurant had other plans. Officer Carl Mason had a reputation in his department. It was not a good one. Mason was 42 years old. He had been a cop for 14 years. During that time, he had 3 complaints for using too much force. All 3 were dismissed. He had 2 complaints for racial profiling. Both were marked as inconclusive. 7 formal complaints in 6 years. Every single one involved a Black or Latino person. Every single one was filed away and forgotten. Let me tell you about some of those complaints. In 2019, Mason stopped a Black teenager at a mall. He said the teen looked suspicious. No charges were ever filed against that teen. In 2021, someone accused Mason of using a racial slur during a traffic stop. The dashcam was supposedly broken that day. In 2022, a Latino business owner said Mason demanded to see immigration.
I was told to move out of my seat for 2 other white men to be seated. When I did not get up, for her to say, "I am not going to serve you," and I had done nothing wrong, it made me feel invisible.
A Black woman was insulted and discriminated against by restaurant staff at J. Alexander's restaurant for refusing to give up her seat to 2 white men. On Thursday, Leah Gant had just finished ordering drinks at J. Alexander's restaurant in West Bloomfield and was sitting at the bar waiting for her friends. At this moment, the bartender called 2 white men and ordered her to give up her seat at the bar. However, after Leah refused to give up her seat, something happened that made her angry.
She took my beverage from in front of me and the side drink that comes with it and said, "I'm not going to serve you." Took it and threw it in the sink.
After Leah was forced to leave her seat, she went to the restaurant manager to file a complaint. At first, the manager promised to give away a drink to calm Leah's emotions, but later instructed the bartender to stop providing her with services. At this moment, a Black customer stood up to support Leah, but was insulted by 2 white customers who threw food at him.
No! He threw that!
Food! According to Leah's account, the witness called the police, but in the end, he was kicked out of the restaurant himself, while the person who threw the food was sheltered and left through the back door.
How innocent you are, no matter how innocent I was still not protected. They chose to protect that other individual, and that just deeply saddens me.
After the incident, J. Alexander Restaurant issued a statement apologizing to the victims, but did not elaborate on the incident or name the customer who threw the food.
He told my wife and I that Black people are not welcome in his establishment and that I can leave, and I'm barred from his restaurant. I'm down here in Myrtle Beach at Salt and Honey. I was so excited to get here because it's a TikTok sensation. I heard that the food was extremely good. And so my wife and I, we visit here, right here, Salt and Honey. And we ordered our food. My wife ordered a steak and eggs, and I ordered some eggs Benedict. And my wife sent back the steak because it wasn't cooked to her liking. So when the waitress took it back to the kitchen, the chef said, "That's the way it's supposed to be." And they brought the same plate back to our table and said, "You just have to eat it. That's the way it's supposed to be." Who heard of anything doing like that? That's so unhealth department. That's health department regulations that I need to call the health department on. You don't do that. If it's not cooked to my specification, then you need to prepare it the way that we asked for it. But that wasn't the topic, guys. The owner of the restaurant came to the table and said he Googled how a medium well steak is supposed to look, and that's the way it's supposed to look. And so after we were not satisfied, the owner of Salt and Honey down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, he told my wife and I that Black people are not welcome in his establishment and that I can leave, and I'm barred from his restaurant. We cannot continue to support establishments in Myrtle Beach or anywhere else that does not welcome Black people and their money. The only thing he had to do was remake the steak. But this gentleman told me that my wife and I was not welcome in his restaurant, that Black people play with his money too much. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I hope this goes viral. I don't know his name because he wouldn't give me his name, but he is the owner.
These guys would classify themselves as good guys. These are the people that I grew up with, not them in particular, but these are the kinds of people that I grew up with. These are the conversations that I heard when I was around that particular table, because I was always around dudes growing up. When I was with white dudes in particular, especially as I got into my 20s and 30s, you would hear this kind of conversation when they felt like it was sort of protected. They sort of forgot themselves. They didn't remember. Those beliefs suck. Those beliefs are wrong. And then they're the same ones who will say there's no such thing as systemic racism, that there's no such thing as favors, there's no such thing, that they're not biased, that they're not racist. And yet,
I know from being present in those conversations, and I know from having whatever internalized prejudice that I have that I want to hire or think about or be next to people who are like me, and actively engaged in preventing that from going forward in my own life. Like I know that they're not doing that work because I've been part of those conversations, not knowing what they were, like not knowing about redlining or like what Reagan said behind closed doors. I was a Reagan girly most of my life. I thought that dude was good, and then to find out that he also used terms like to remember growing up and hearing it and not knowing what it was, and recognizing how even when it's nuanced and not even this obvious, right? Like this guy caught it. It's the part when it's not caught and it's always said as a joke. Yep. It's always done. Like that's the part.
Bro,
that's
we
the
didn't mean
craziest.
anything
It's
by it,
always
bro.
said sort of like, haha.
Get your dirt ass out.
Monkeys, you know, and they're like, oh man, I don't mean you, but not like you, but like, you know, you. What do you mean?
You're like one of the good ones. We're not talking about you, bro. Like, no, you're not like them. You know, you're different. You're more like us. That's not a compliment.
It's that stuff that shifts your perspective to make someone less than you and what you believe. And somehow like you get to rise up and say, I still get to be the good guy. You're not the good guy. You're not the good guy who protects Israel when Gaza is being persecuted. When you're protecting Trump and this administration, where they're taking the rights and the privileges and their economic privileges, then they're completely bankrolling themselves and their cronies when they're setting up a future for us that doesn't include we the people. You're not the good guy. You're not the good guy when you give money to that guy when I come off the highway. You know, I give a couple bucks, I throw it his way, or I go to church on this day, that day, or wherever. And yet, you will protect your circle and your organization and your company. You'll protect it by keeping people who are like you, who look like you, who sound like you around you. Hire people, subordinates for lesser positions. You'll still have a diversity. When you say diversity on your website, or not even on your website, there's no website. You also shut down your Facebook page. So I'm guessing you're under fire. You will hire people for positions that aren't in line to threaten the hierarchy that you establish as comfortable for you. Becky. You will protect yourself by continuing to talk as if you are superior. You won't give any margin to that, whether it be women or gay people. I know someone in particular who CEO of a goddamn company.
Hey, bro, look, I know it's a Jamal or a Daquan that don't play about Becky, bro. I swear, bro.
A company that has hundreds of employees. CEO, millions and millions of dollars, right? Goes to his daughter's cheerleading competition. I'm standing there watching. What does he do? There's a gay judge. He stands behind him and he goes like this and makes fun in front of 500 people, this gay judge, for being charismatic in the way that he was presenting his affirmation, by the way, of the children that he was judging. It's that kind of stuff where you're like, oh, I was just kidding. It's not funny. It's not fucking funny. You're not the fucking good guy. You don't get to stand up and like present yourself as like, hey, I apologized. It should be fine. You don't get to tell people when it's fine.
Hey, bro, like I said before, boy, one thing white folks gonna do is they gonna enunciate and pronounce every syllable in that F word, bro. I love it, dog. I'm not in, especially when they pissed off, bro. It just roll off the tongue so smooth with them, bro. No cap.
When you're the one who perpetrated the harm, you don't get to decide when we're done. They decide when we're done. You're the one who activated it.
She believed this.
You don't get to decide. You have to sit down and you have to swallow it because you're the one that shot it out.
Thank you for watching those clips, and now let's go into the full analysis. You know, as you saw in the video, that it happens around somewhere in Florida in a restaurant where racist towards black man and black woman were carried out by different white folks. And you know, this has been happening for over century, even before generation and after generation, this has been happening, and no one has actually done anything to stop it till today. But what happened? What started as an ordinary day in Florida quickly turned into a moment that has people talking across social media. According to witness in the clip you saw, a man allegedly directed racist remark at a black man in the public space, apparently expecting no one to challenge him, but instead of responding with anger or violence, the black man remained calm, looked him in the eyes, and firmly made it clear that disrespect would not be tolerated. That's exactly what happened in those clips, and you can see a lot of black men and black people were not standing up against racism that happened towards them from white folks. As the exchange continued, bystanders began paying attention. In institutions like this, some people will just bring out their phone and be recording what is actually happening, and some also will also try to come into the matter to make sure it doesn't escalate beyond what was actually happening. And as you can see in those people again, it happens to a woman who goes to a restaurant and was asked to stand up for a white man, which is not supposed to be happening. It's also happening in the clips where in the restaurant they were telling the man that came with his kid, a black man for that matter, they were telling him to stand up or to evacuate the suite because another white man wants to use the seat. The incident quickly spread online, with many few were praising the calm response. They argued that standing up to racism with confidence and composure can be more powerful than responding with aggression. Others said the video was a reminder that hateful words can have real consequence, especially when people refuse to say silent. I think what is happening now across the United States of America is that the black are not keeping silent again. They are not fighting for the right and actually standing up against anybody that wants to make racism against them. Now, I would like to hear your perspective. Do you think racism should be happening in this year, or what do you think? Let me know your perspective, and we'll shed more light on this story. Thank you for staying tuned, and watch out for the next episode.